I regret going for transmog at first when 200 high level gear is so much more profitable, at least in my realm. Yeah, but like you live and you learn, you know. It's all a process. Like nobody, it's very rare that people pick the first thing they do to be the right thing that they do, you know. And now you know, right? You know what you like, you know what you want to go for, and your goal making is progressing, right? You're on to the next step. Whatever happened, you know, in however long that is ago, who cares? You're not there anymore, you know. You're at the point right now where you're doing exactly what you want with your goal making, and just continue. Have you making your gold? I'm brand new to gold making, started around 120k, and now I'm at around 220. It's been almost 2 weeks. Gotta be a faster way to get more. So I'll be first one to say your first million is the hardest part of your gold making. Making gold in the beginning is always like, it's always hard. That's just how it is. Some people skip ahead of the train and they buy tokens, so they're already up to, you know, a couple million, and then they can just start going crazy. But if you want the quickest way to build up capital in the beginning, if you just want to build up gold, you literally just have to continue to farm and sell things on the auction house, especially if you don't know that much about professions yet, and buying and selling the value of different things. So you literally just have to farm things, get out there. So it either you go for mining and herbalism, or otherwise you go into, you know, the raw gold ways. But there's not that much you can do with raw gold anymore, unless you have a lot of alts. I just use TSM and play the flash market game with constant cancel scans. Yeah, but it's also the profit margins on something like the flash market is never going to be that much. So unless you are trading large quantities, the margins are never going to be high enough for you to actually make a good amount of gold. So you'll be stuck investing and then selling and investing and selling, and your gold is going up very slowly. Would you suggest farming every mining and herb material? No, because that's unreasonable. Because if you only farm 1 hour of each material, which is what you would have to do if you wanted to farm absolutely everything, you wouldn't get enough of each. It's better to just go for the things that will actually sell quickly, or not super slowly. So I'm not saying that the flash market is not something you should do, but you should think about your gold per hour, right? You should think about how you spend your time, value your time, because time is the most valuable thing that you have when it comes to gold making, right? Like if you make 150 gold, 100 to 150 gold per flask, 125 on average, and I don't know how many you sell, but since you've made 100k in a week, you've gone from 120 to 220k, maybe a couple hundred. My server doesn't really have much profitability in other markets. The only thing that you can really do with current content, if you want to make a lot of gold, is legendaries. And you cannot get into legendaries unless you have a lot of capital. Like, unless you have a lot of gold already, it's going to be impossible for you to get into. So the other thing you could do is farming the materials that people use, right? Or get into 200 and 230 gear. But the other problem with that is setting that up and getting that running on multiple characters is going to take a while because of reputation needs or requirements. Bags and a few other tailoring items are decent too. Yes, I mean they're fine. They're just small margins. The amount of gold you make is not very high. It's a high pop server. You should just, do you like farming? That's my question. Would you go out mining and herbing? Yes or no? I don't farm. I usually buy all of my materials. Sell my flasks on Tuesday. Yeah, on reset. But it's also it's a lot of gold that you tie up in 1 day of selling things. That's also why it might be going slow, because you're not actively selling it. It's not a bad idea to wait until reset, but things will do fine in every other day. Weekends are good day, like Fridays, Saturdays, and even sometimes Sundays. Those are all really good days usually. And then obviously Tuesday, Wednesday, usually good days as well. It's very rare that you have days that are not super active, but obviously it depends on the realm size. But yeah, I mean, if you want to, getting into eye level 200 and 230 gear through crafters marks, that is an option. You do have to farm reputation in Corphia from the Archivist Codex, so that's something that you have to consider for that one. But if you don't like farming, your gold making will be going slow. That's the most simple thing that I can say. Because your capital is 220k, as you said. So the amount of gold that you currently have to invest into things is not very high. So the amount of gold that you can get back from 220k is not going to be very high either, right? Like, you'll be going from 220k down to 10k, and then you'll be going up to maybe 240 and then down to 10k again, and then 250 and then down to 10k again, unless you pick the right markets on your server. But you have to test and try things. But 200 eye level gear and 230 gear is very good right now because a lot of people are making alts and also preparing for 9.2. I mean, if you want to build up some more capital very quickly, go out there and farm. Like, you take, like, let's say on Saturday or something, right? Or if you have a weekday that you can do it, the entire day you just go out, do mining and herbalism, and farm as much as you can. And then you build up your capital. And then you also learn about the markets that way. You learn what it's used for, why people buy it, and what you can maybe turn it into yourself. But if you don't want to do that, that's also okay, because you don't have to. I don't have a miner at all. Well, that's not necessarily a problem, because mining is very easy and very quick to level up. It's because if you're using the strategy that you are right now, is, let's say, if you have 220k and you invest a majority of it, usually people make 10 to 30% profit when it comes to gold making things. That's what you're looking for. So let's say that that's the average amount. Let's say that 20% is the average amount in between 20 and, or 10 and 30, right? So if you have 220k, I'll show you here. If you have 220k, every single time you invest all of your money, you are going to be getting, you'd be getting 44k back, right? So if you invest all of your gold and you get an average of 20% back in profit, you earn 44,000, right? So then after that, you'll be up to what? 264,000. So then you could do that one more time, right? And if you're waiting until every Tuesday, then you have 7 days where you spend however much time, but you're only making 44,000. And that's if you invest all of your gold, right? And if you do that, then you leave yourself empty for a while. And that's why it feels slow, because it's not going to build up quickly if you don't invest. Like, you don't have, your capital is not huge, it's not big enough to do what you like doing. Your job now should be getting to 1 million, and then you can really start to play. Yeah, you need for the way that you seem to like gold making, you need more gold. You need more gold. And to be able to start up the beginning levels of your adventures, you just need to farm, because that is the quickest way to build it up.